Welcome to the You Two Scare Me podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Felice.
And I'm Andy. And we are coming to you from stormy Key West, Florida.
Yes. So this was crazy. We're starting from the beginning. We already did this because we started recording and then a storm hit and then the lights, well, there was thunder and lightning and then the lights flickered and then they went off and then they kicked us off the internet.
Yeah.
So we're trying again.
Take two.
Yeah. So what you been up to?
Well, prior to all of this thunder, like my son says,
thunder.
No, the thunder. It was actually a beautiful day. It was just really hot. But we are doing all of the let's make sure just in case a hurricane comes, we are somewhat ready.
Yeah, have to batten down the hatches, make sure everything's tied down.
Yeah, just putting stuff away in the garage and that kind of silly stuff. And so we surprised the kids with one of those blow up water things. And so then all the neighborhood kids poured out. It was party up in here.
Oh. Impromptu party. That sounds so fun.
So fun. But it was fine. They had a great time. They were sleeping soundly until all of the thunder and lightning and whatever else, and now they're up again. Yeah. But Dad has them. Great job.
Yeah, way to go, Ryan. Oh my gosh. I also had a water day. I had a pool party at my friend's house. And
adults slip inside?
Yep. It was just pools floating, just adults.
Oh, wow. That sounds awful.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Gosh.
You remember those days?
I do, somehow.
Somehow.
They seem eons ago.
Distant and vague. You'll have them again. Someday you two will be an empty nester and you can run wild.
Someday.
Again.
That's far off.
Yeah, it'll be a while, but I don't know. Time flies fast. They say the days are long and the years are short.
Oh, I do feel that in my heart a little bit when I look at my kids and they're no longer babies. And I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to carry you.
Yeah,
and
just wait till Bo gets a beard.
Oh God.
That's different.
You're like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Who are you, you strange man?
Yeah. Yep. And when their voices drop, it's so funny. Yes. So I don't know.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yes. Okay. Well, if you're new here, hey there. We're two friends who are obsessed with ghost stories, haunted legends, and anything that makes the lights flicker.
Ooh.
Interestingly enough.
How apropos. We get it. Paranormal stuff usually has roots. Sure, we're here to laugh, but we don't mess with the forces that go bump in the night.
That's right. Let's just say this up front. We're in it for the vibes. Yes, things get spooky, but also we're going to crack up. Probably more than we should.
Yeah, it might be inappropriate sometimes.
And
that's fine.
Yeah. We're like, the Civil War.
Fun fact. These stories that we tell, totally real.
I mean, someone swears they happened. We're not Ghostbusters. We're just here to tell you what they said.
We dive into the dark and the weird. Spirits, sightings, legends, creatures, and stories that make you say, wait, what was that?
Here's how it works. Each of us picks a spooky topic, keeps it under wraps, and then we hit record. No hints, no prep, just pure surprise.
Oh, there is a little bit of prep.
I mean, we prep our stories, but not together. Yeah.
Separately. Dive into the shadows with us as we bring you haunting tales in this episode of the You Two Scare Me podcast. This episode's got chills, thrills, and a whole lot of ghostly gossip.
That's right.
Shall we dive in?
Today we're heading into the wide, wild Texas Panhandle, where tumbleweeds roll across forgotten highways and old buildings creak with memories they'd rather keep to themselves. This episode is a paranormal tour across the Panhandle's eeriest haunts. So pack your sage, jump into your boots, and keep your camera ready. You might just catch something peeking out from the past.
Ooh.
Yeah. So the Panhandle of Texas is the square part at the top of the state.
Okay.
The little, looks like the handle of a pan. That's why it's called that.
Oh, wow. Great.
Thank you. Linguistics at work, right? So these are my old stomping grounds. I grew up in Amarillo, Texas, home of the famous 72-ounce steak at the Big Texan Steakhouse.
Oh,
It's
okay.
our claim to fame.
Oh, yeah. I'm familiar. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, if you were driving across the country on I-40, you would definitely see signs advertising this place for miles and miles and miles.
Have you attempted this challenge?
I have not.
Oh, there's still time.
But last summer, Will, my 22-year-old son, did. So we've been going there their whole lives, every summer. It's like the one little touristy thing in town, and he's always wanted to try it. So you have to sit up on a stage. You get 1 hour, and they yell out to the whole restaurant. It's like a whole woohoo, yeehaw kind of thing,
Oh my gosh, I love it.
They're like, Will is doing this 72-ounce steak challenge, and so you have to eat the whole steak, which is really like the size of a roast. It's huge. A baked potato, a roll, a shrimp or two, I think, and a salad. Maybe, I don't know. I think that's it. And you have 1 hour to do it. So he went in hard, like food competition style, like just tearing it and eating it with his hands. And he was going. He prepped for 1 week, and he did a lot of studying for it. You know how he is. He crammed. And without going into too many details, he got very close, and then it was suddenly over.
Poor Will.
So they do give you your personal trash can at your seat.
Oh, that's
he
good.
did use it. So
got it.
yeah. But the funny thing, like in total, like man fashion, he was ready for ice cream 10 minutes later.
Oh,
I'm not kidding. He's like,
God.
I think I want some ice cream. And they do let you take home whatever your leftovers are if you can't finish it after an hour.
Oh my gosh.
So, but I don't think I think he was pretty much done with his meal
Yeah.
at that moment.
And I'm done.
And I'm done. But it was kind of awesome because all of his little cousins were there, my nieces and nephews, and they were amped, and the whole restaurant was like cheering him on. And so
and I'm sure he loved that.
Oh yeah,
he's totally that kind of guy. Yeah,
so it was fun.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, it was quite the day. But on to what we're here for, the hauntings.
And just in case you hear a ruckus behind us, it is actively thunderstorming. So
yeah, it's like adding to our spooky vibes. So told you we were here for the vibes.
We're so here for the vibes.
So our first stop is the Nat Ballroom in Amarillo. Locals call it the Nat, short for Natatorium, because believe it or not, this haunted landmark started life as a grand indoor swimming pool in 1922.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It was designed by architect Guy Anton Carlander, and the facility measured 36 by 101 feet. It was built along Route 66 to serve the booming railroad in Cattletown. The pool was fancy. Think Greco-Roman columns and skylights. Okay. But by 1926, they slapped a floor over the water, brought in big bands, and turned it into one of the region's hottest dance halls.
Ooh.
So I'm imagining flapper dresses and people dancing the Charleston.
Oh, so fun.
The grand opening featured L. Hoover and his orchestra playing for free for the first night, and then it was a 5-cent entry per dance. So you had to pay per dance.
Oh.
A nickel.
Wow.
In the early 1930s, the new owner, Harry Badger, rebranded it the Nat Dine and Dance Palace. He added a cafe, Nat Cafe, and enhanced the exterior with a castle-like Art Deco facade.
Oh, I was going to ask, did it become a castle?
It looks very castle-y kind of. The ballroom flourished into the 1950s, hosting stars like Tommy Dorsey, Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, Buddy Holly, and Bob Wills, and Little Richard.
And Little Richard.
And Little Richard's appearance in 1956 caused quite a stir because he took off his shirt. And yes, this is a very kind of conservative town, and I can only imagine in the 50s, like that was probably a huge deal.
What a scandal.
Oh yeah. He did it in protest because they wanted him to change his set list.
Oh.
So he took off his shirt.
He's like, take that, Amarillo.
Yeah. So legends say ghosts still swing to the rhythm. The Nat closed for public dancing in the early 1960s.
What a shame.
I know. Likely due to changing social trends and the decline of live ballroom culture. But when I asked my dad about it, he told me that in the late 60s and early 70s, his Uncle Mike was a co-owner or operator. and that during this time, many Tejano bands played there.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so he got to see some famous Tejano bands like Little Joe y La Familia, Sonny Ozuna and the Sunliners, and Carlos Guzman. And he said that those groups were kind of the elite in Tejano music at the time.
So cool.
So also my mom and dad had their wedding reception. My dad called it the wedding dance party at the Nat.
What? Personal connection.
Yeah, he said my mom was a pretty good Tejano music dancer.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Wow.
go Diana.
Wow.
Yeah, this was after her seance days.
I mean, that set her off on the right path. That's for sure.
So I think it was mostly used for parties and events during this time. But what's interesting is that there was no mention of this Tejano period in my research.
Oh.
And if I didn't ask my dad and get his firsthand account, I wouldn't have known about it. Isn't that kind of like
always whitewashing?
I know. That's what I was thinking. It did sit vacant for decades with intermittent efforts at revival, hosting private events, antique fairs, and even occasional wrestling matches.
Okay.
I know. It's so exciting. It reopened as an antique mall in the early 2000s. Boring. Then transformed into a multi-vendor Route 66 marketplace by the 2010s. Today it operates under local management, offering vintage, handmade goods, and a cafe.
I mean, I do like some vintage goods.
I do too. And I'm glad that they're doing something with it because it's a really cool building and like really awesome history. So as for paranormal activity, the famous cold spots appear where no breeze should be. Silverware gets moved by invisible hands in the now marketplace area, and some claim to hear phantom footsteps pacing after hours.
Ooh.
The most commonly reported apparition is a lady in white.
Of course.
Often described wearing a white gown with a red stain on the bodice.
Ooh.
Yeah. Initially thought to be blood, but later speculated to be red wine spilled during an evening at the gambling area upstairs.
That would have been me. That's me as a ghost.
We're like, red wine stain and red lipstick. Yeah. The red lipstick lady.
Oh.
This figure is frequently seen drifting through the second floor gambling hall, sometimes lingering near stairwells or along balcony railings. Stories suggest she spent her last hours playing cards or dancing on those floors. Perhaps a dramatic death led to her becoming trapped in that moment between life and afterlife. We don't know for sure.
I mean, at least she was having fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think too. She went out strong. A 1996 paranormal investigation caught audio resembling a female voice singing and a lone drum solo, possibly linked to her presence during the dance era.
What was she singing? I want to know. Little Richie song?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. The temperature changed, furniture moved, and there were sudden EMF or magnetic spikes, especially around the second floor during the investigation. Is the lady in white still lingering at the Nat?
Ooh, lingering.
Would you want to be a ghost in a dance hall?
Yes.
It would be different dance. It would be like dancing to like Mr. Brightside.
Yeah. So I was going to say, if, me as a ghost, yeah, probably red wine spilled on me, red lipstick all over.
Yeah. Mosh pit, maybe.
I was going to say moshing, a little like Metallica,
Yes.
some like punk music, and that would be me.
Yeah.
Maybe the Deftones are playing.
Yeah. You're like Chuck Taylor's.
Yeah. I mean, essentially
Same.
that's me.
Yeah. I'll probably just be laying on the couch. Why is that ghost just laying on the couch all the time? She likes to be horizontal. Okay, it's her favorite.
She looks comfortable.
Yes. All right, next up is the story of the Santa Fe building, also in Amarillo, where there are 14 floors of stone, steel, and spectral commuters who never quite clocked out.
Whoa, that was a tongue twister.
Yes, it was, and I did it.
I know.
First time ever.
So proud of you.
Thank you. Let's rewind to 1928. Amarillo is booming, which if you've ever been to Amarillo, like I can't really imagine it being booming.
Well, it sounds like the 20s it was happening.
20s, yeah, it was booming. So I think that's really interesting.
Cool.
The Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railway is king, and the company wants to show off. So they start building this massive late Gothic revival-style headquarters right in the center of town. When it finally opened in 1930, it was a marvel. 14 stories tall, ornate terracotta details, and enough office space to oversee more than 5,800 miles of track.
I never think of Texas as having buildings that are late Gothic revival.
Yeah,
Like-
or 14 stories.
Yeah.
Not where
Yeah.
I'm from.
So
It's a big building for that.
interesting.
Town, you know?
Yeah. I can't wait to see a picture.
Mm-hmm. This wasn't just an office building. It was the brain of the Santa Fe Railway's Southwest operations. Engineers, dispatchers, clerks, all working in sync to keep trains moving across Texas and beyond. But as decades rolled by, the railroad business shrank. By the 1980s, the Santa Fe building stood mostly empty, quiet, and forgotten, a shadow of its former self. And that's when the whispers started. Nighttime security guards reported hearing the clicking of old telegraph machines.
Oh, I love that.
Even though the telegraph office had been shut down for years.
Love
Isn't
that.
cool? Yeah.
Yes.
Lights flickered in empty rooms. Elevators moved between floors without being called. And then there were the figures seen just out of the corner of the eye.
Oh,
Like we've talked about before, right?
yeah.
One story comes from a custodian doing rounds on the 8th floor. He said he saw a man standing at the end of the hall, wearing a gray suit and an old-fashioned railroad cap, holding a clipboard. The custodian greeted him, but the man didn't respond. He turned the corner and vanished. Another county employee swore they heard someone say, "Train's late," while walking past a locked conference room. The voice was male, low, and crackled like it was coming from an old radio.
Oh,
Isn't
cool.
that so weird?
Yeah.
By the 1990s, the building was fully vacant. Some say that's when the energy was the strongest. Amarillo's ghost tours started, including the Santa Fe building on their route, pointing out the cold spots in the stairwells and the strange buzzing that seemed to rise when storms rolled in.
Just like our equipment was buzzing.
That's right.
Ooh.
Almost like the building itself was waking up. But in 1995, Potter County bought the structure and gave it a $14 million facelift. Today, it's back in use, housing courtrooms, public records, and other government offices. Still, employees say that some nights when the hallways are empty and the wind howls across the plains, you can hear footsteps that don't echo right. You'll feel a presence on the elevator, even if no one else is riding. And sometimes the telegraph clicks.
I love it.
I know. Is it residual energy from a bustling past, spirits of railroad men with schedules to keep, or just a building that remembers how alive it used to be?
Cool. I feel like residual from what you were saying. You know, it seems like things are just kind of like replaying, but that's super cool.
It's cool, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this one is creepy.
Ooh, I like creepy.
Creepy. Our next spooky location is St. Anthony's Hospital. So this one's personal because when I was a kid, my mom worked at this hospital as an x-ray tech.
Oh, okay.
I asked her about it, and she said that she had heard that it was haunted, but she never really experienced anything except that it was really creepy, especially in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diana,
Yeah.
please, no more seances in the basement.
Yeah. If you've ever walked through a hospital late at night, you know how quiet it gets. Too quiet. And sometimes the science isn't peaceful. It's heavy. This is the story of St. Anthony's Hospital, a place of healings, hauntings, and maybe even exorcisms.
No. Okay, hold on.
This one's kind of creepy.
Okay, I'm ready.
A once bustling Catholic hospital, St. Anthony's has become one of the Panhandle's most infamous paranormal hotspots. Founded in 1901, St. Anthony's was Amarillo's first Catholic hospital and one of the largest in the region with over 300 beds. Run by a group of Catholic sisters, it served the Texas Panhandle faithfully for decades. It was the kind of place where babies were born, prayers were whispered, and families gathered at bedsides. But between 1909 and 1931, something else was happening behind closed doors. Reports say that the hospital conducted 76 exorcisms during that time.
What?
76.
That's a freaking lot.
Yeah.
And this is a Catholic hospital. And so just in case you don't know, for there to actually be a Catholic exorcism performed, it's there's a lot of
Like a lot of steps.
Yeah, there's like
there.
a lot of things you have to go through, kind
Yeah.
of like red tape
Yeah.
to get there.
But this was also like between 1909 and 1931. So, I mean, it was a different time. And back then, possession and mental illness were often confused. So patients with seizures, hallucinations, or violent episodes were sometimes treated as if they were harboring something darker. So it could be a combo of
Still, regardless,
dark energy, but also
it's a
who
freaking
knows?
lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Yes. These rituals were done quietly, of course, tucked away in isolated wings or basement rooms, but their residue may still be lingering. After a century of service, St. Anthony's shut its doors in the early 2000s, and that's when things got really weird. Urban explorers and paranormal investigators have described what they found inside: cold spots in warm rooms, shadows darting across doorways, and the overwhelming feeling that you're not alone. And not just in that, this place is creepy kind of way, like something is watching you.
I don't like that.
Mm-mm. There's one story that gets repeated a lot. A former staff member was cleaning a break room when he heard tapping. He turned and saw an elderly man pushing an IV pole, calling out, "Help me, please." The man was pale, hunched, and clearly in distress. So the staff member ran to get a nurse. But when they returned, the room was empty. A quick check of the records showed something chilling. A patient matching that exact description had passed away more than an hour earlier on a completely different floor.
Oh, I have chills.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's spooky.
So this next part is really weird too. Therapy dogs that were brought into the hospital during its final years were said to growl at seemingly empty rooms. Some handlers even noted the air temperature spiking to over 120 degrees with a sudden scent of sulfur.
Oh, no. Those are all very bad signs.
So sulfur is often considered a telltale sign of demonic presence. 120 degrees and sulfur smell.
That's those two things, like, I don't know how often things are like dark and demonic, right? But they do say that that's like the distinguishing thing, right? When we think of like spirits and ghosts and hauntings, we think like temperature dropping. But when the temperature rises, that's supposed to be like
really bad.
Really bad.
Really scary. And also the dogs wouldn't enter these rooms too.
Right.
Something was there. And so this is another really crazy part. So before I was like doing my research and I found that out, and I didn't say anything to my mom, but then I asked her, "Hey, did you know of anything creepy in this hospital?" When she worked there. And before I mentioned anything about what I found out about these dogs being uncomfortable in certain rooms, my mom called me to tell me that she remembered that there was a dog testing program there, or like an animal testing program there. And she thinks that dogs were killed there, which is horrifying.
Yeah.
And also could explain why the dogs maybe were reacting in that way.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I will say, kids and animals, they have that other sense that either like we have turned off or ignore as adults or whatever the case may be, but they know when something's up.
Yeah. So photos taken in 2021 show long peeling hallways, rusted wheelchairs, and abandoned surgical equipment.
Okay, that whole image, like when there is a place and just the stuff is left for whatever reason, the wheelchairs and the like scalpels and things like that just out, always creeps me out so much.
It reminds me of those pictures you see of Chernobyl. Like when I saw this picture, I was like, that reminds me of Chernobyl. It's just like super creepy and abandoned.
Yeah, so weird.
Scary. One room still has a crucifix on the wall. Another, just a child's shoe left in the corner. The whole place was completely dilapidated. I can remember being there as a kid. Like if my mom was on call, I would have to go with her because she was a single mom, and if it was her night, I would just go with her if she got called in. And I just remember it being eerily quiet and very creepy there.
Yeah. You were creeped out.
Yeah. Even being really little, like 3 or 4 or 5, whatever.
Oh, wow. Today,
the hospital is being turned into a senior living facility that's supposed to open this fall.
Oh,
good luck.
Wow.
Best wishes. So hospitals are full of energy. Life begins there, and sometimes it ends there too. But in Amarillo, some believe that at St. Anthony's, it never really ended at all.
That was a spooky one.
It's spooky, right?
Yeah.
That one is very spooky.
Yeah, that was spooky.
Okay, so we'll end on a higher note. So our last stop is a place where the Wild West never quite settled down. We're going to Old Tascosa, one of the wildest frontier towns in Texas. We'll walk through Boot Hill Cemetery, where outlaws and cowboys lie under wind-worn crosses.
You know I have a thing for cowboys.
Okay, you are going to love this one. Okay, I can't wait. We'll step into Cal Farley's Boys Ranch, a place of second chances built on the bones of the past. Let's go back to the late 1800s. Tascosa was booming, one of the biggest towns between Dodge City and El Paso. It had all the classics: saloons, brothels, gunslingers, and cattle barons. And it had trouble. In 1886, the most famous shootout in town happened at Jenkins Saloon. The fight was between cowboys loyal to the LS Ranch and a group of outlaws called the System.
Oh.
Don't you love that? The System.
I sure do.
Bullets flew, men died. One cowboy, dying in the dirt, supposedly guessed, "Tell my ma I died with my boots on."
Oh my gosh, what a Texas thing to say.
Tell my ma I died with my boots on. I love it. And that's how Boot Hill Cemetery got its name.
Wow.
You'll find Boot Hill just above the Prairie Dog Fork of the Red River. It's not fancy, just a lonely hill scattered with crooked crosses, faded headstones, and names mostly forgotten. But some spirits haven't moved on. Visitors report hearing phantom gunshots across the plains, especially at dusk.
It's like, I'm hearing that and like, I understand what it actually sounds like, but I'm just picturing those old Western movies like, pew, pew. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
I wonder if they hear that too. Others say they've heard low voices, men arguing or whispering behind them when no one's around. One local said she felt a hand on her shoulder near one of the older graves, but turned to find nothing but the wind.
Ooh.
And then there's Frenchie McCormick.
Oh.
Frenchie was a saloon girl who fell in love with a gambler named Mickey McCormick. Mickey McCormick.
That's cute.
I know. They stayed in Tascosa even as the town died around them. She stayed loyal until the very end, living alone after Mickey's death until she passed in 1941. She's buried near Boot Hill, and some say her ghost still watches over the empty town. People claim to see a woman in an old-fashioned dress walking through the ruins. No footsteps, just a presence. A figure who disappears behind a wall that hasn't stood in 100 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's a ghost town. It's not like a real...
Well, I'll get to it.
Oh, okay.
There's more there. By the early 1900s, floods and railroad routes spelled the end for Tascosa. The courthouse closed, businesses left, and the town faded into ghost town status.
Okay.
But in 1939, a man named Cal Farley came along with a new vision. He turned the ruins of Old Tascosa into something entirely different, Boys Ranch. Cal Farley's Boys Ranch is still here today, 25 miles northwest of Amarillo. It's a nonprofit residential community for at-risk kids, a place that provides education, housing, and mentorship. Some of the old buildings still stand. Okay, personal note. In high school, my best friend and I will leave her unnamed, but if she hears this, she'll know who I'm talking about. We would go to Boys Ranch to watch the rodeo and meet cute cowboys.
I was going to say, I'm like, wait a second. In high school, you got to be going to meet like the bad boys.
Yeah,
Oh
and the cowboys. Yeah, so if you're a 16-year-old girl, like with your new driver's license, can you think of any place more tempting than a place called Boys Ranch?
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, you should be. It was wonderful. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah. Back to the story. Today, the courthouse has been restored. The Boot Hill Cemetery is preserved as a historic site. It's a strange contrast. Echoes of gunfights right along the laughter of kids building better lives.
Aww.
So actually, it is an awesome place. But some say the spirits haven't left. Staff have reported seeing shadowy figures on the ridge line above Boot Hill, doors close on their own, and more than one child at the ranch has said they've seen cowboys watching from the trees.
Oh my gosh.
But when you stand on that dusty hill looking out over the plains, you can almost see the town that once was. The men who rode in, shot fast, and died young, and the woman who never left. From wild shootouts to whispered prayers, from ghosts to second chances, this patch of Texas has seen it all. So if you visit Boot Hill, bring some respect, and maybe don't linger too long after sunset.
Ooh,
yeah, that's a fun one.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still having a hard time getting past this jealousy that teenage me has for teenage you with these cowboys.
It's cool because they are actual cowboys. They actually have, I mean, it's a working ranch. And so they put on a whole rodeo
That's
and they
awesome.
deal with horses and ride bulls, I think, and all that
I
stuff.
love a good rodeo.
It's really cool. Me too. I love the rodeo. So fun.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a great program. Well, that wraps our tour through the Texas Panhandle, a land of open skies, lost towns, and spirits who never left. From ghostly swing dancers to railroad phantoms, from haunted hospitals to shadowy figures on the prairie, the Panhandle proves you don't need a city skyline to host the supernatural.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That was awesome, Felice.
Yeah.
And I love that you started with your hometown.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And all of these places are familiar to you
Yeah.
in some
That's
capacity,
pretty
which
cool.
is super cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, it is time for Somebody Told Me. This story comes to us from Drew. So, when Drew was a teenager, there was a house somewhere in the woods in North Carolina. A family lived there, and one day they reportedly all went missing. So, as teenagers do, Drew and his friends decided to go there at 1 a.m. one night to explore this abandoned house.
Always a winning idea.
Always a great idea. Let's go explore scary places in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Perfect. Teenage brain. The best.
Yes.
Drew said it was as if the family had just disappeared into thin air, vanished. Cereal boxes were still on the table. It was like they just went somewhere and left everything exactly as it was.
Oh, wow.
The rumor was that the father had murdered the family. Drew and his teenage friends went through every room in the house, and when they were finished exploring, they went outside. They looked up at a window at the top of the house. The curtain looked like it was pulled back. They didn't remember the curtain being pulled back, but suddenly it fell back into place.
Oh.
It was as though someone had been holding it and just let it go. They were obviously terrified.
Rightfully so.
But here's the kicker. Later, they found out that the father did, in fact, murder his whole family. It was a murder-suicide, actually. And the whole incident had
That's sad.
occurred somewhere else. So it didn't happen at the actual property, but it was those people. So the thinking was that the dad kind of like rushed everybody out of the house, had this plan.
Yeah. And took them somewhere.
And
Oh, that's sad.
murdered them and then, took his own life. But something was definitely in the house when Drew and his friends were there. How spooky, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
also just like to go in, you're getting spooked out. It's like really, it's the middle of the night and you thought you saw something and you had heard this story that, oh, the dad had done this thing. And then to find out that it's really real.
Right. I think it's scary on like, it's like a scary sandwich. It's scary on different levels, right?
Yeah.
Because you're going in middle of the night. Like going into any abandoned place in the middle of the night is going to be scary.
Yeah.
And then you see that things are, it's just like somebody stepped out. So I think
that's unsettling.
Right.
Eerie.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're like, okay, this is weird. You go out and you see the curtain just like, what? And then to find out.
And you've been through every room, so you know nobody's in there.
Right.
Or they were hiding.
Oh,
that's
which
scary
is
too.
even
Like, what
scary
if there was someone in there with them the whole time too? That would be scary too, right?
Yeah. People are scarier than.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was a spooky story, Drew.
Thank you, Drew.
Thanks, Drew.
We appreciate it. Thank you for your submission.
Yeah. And thanks so much to all of you for listening to and downloading this episode of the You Two Scare Me podcast. Have you checked out our website, you2scareme.com? You can find blog posts about our episodes, super cool photos of us, and links to buy our sweet merch.
Spooky vibes are better with friends. Share the chills with your favorite paranormal people.
You can also help us by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Don't forget to check out our social media. Find us on Instagram at you2scareme_podcast or on our Facebook page, You Two Scare Me. You can even follow us on TikTok. Just search You Two Scare Me Podcast, no spaces.
Remember to send us your own spooky stories for our Somebody Told Me segment at you2scaremepodcast@gmail.com. That's YOUTWO scare me podcast@gmail.com.
Thanks for wandering through the shadows with us.
Until next time, stay curious and beware what lurks beyond the light.